All right, folks, good morning. Sorry about that. A little late. Was just reading a press release that went out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and yeah, going to be an extremely volatile day, just as we predicted. The G7 summit was a little bit of a letdown. Shocker. Buy the rumor, sell the news, man. G7, we're just standing by to help out in any way. Well, that's your job. I guess you want the market to go up on you doing your job. And then, yeah, my cell phone just buzzed with the Fed chopping, what was it, a half a point? So there we go. So now the market's going to rip higher. I would buy some calls right now on the S&P 500. Boom, buy them at the market. Buy them. Buy. Buy calls at the market, S&P 500, because it's going to swing around. Short term, I'd go through tomorrow or Friday. And here you go. Here comes a hopium. Ridiculous. So there we go. Yep. Buy them. Buy everything right now. Buy some Apple calls. Buy everything. The Fed's going to give us some elixir, but we're going to hold on to everything we're holding on to, folks. All the bearish stuff. So absolutely insanity. So nice job, Fed. Let's go to Apple. We'll buy some Apple calls. Out the Friday, March 6th, going to buy some calls right at the money. This is when you got to step in and just buy them, right? Because we're going to go higher. Short-term trades, folks. This is trading. This ain't investing at all. Going to get them at the ask. But I think we're immediately going to roll over here, folks. So, or not immediately, but the short-term elixir of central bank hopium. So apparently, the Fed cutting rates cures coronavirus. Who knew that? I mean, that would have been great to know. I'm sure people all around the world can't get filled on these calls. Hang on a second. Let's just watch something. I don't feel super move here. I mean, the market was up yesterday based on the Fed having already done this, remember? So this will be very, very tactical trading. Get filled on these calls. Are they right here? Nope, not that one. Modify. Where's the pricing on here? Nice job. Cancel. All right. And again, this if you don't want to chase the market like this, don't do anything. Just kind of sit there and hang on, because this is going to be a dead bat bounce. Well, exactly, Larry. The futures kind of being all over the place, and then the market really not doing anything. Not having some massive rally right at the open because everything yesterday was super fantastic is definitely interesting. Why are these prices going away? What the hell is going on here? Yeah, 2 new cases in Atlanta, 2 new cases in New York City. We're going to have more, blah, blah, blah. Holy crap. People are going to be dying here very shortly, and we'll trade up an up Dow market, right? Well, let's just, I'm going to hang out because, if we get some sort of, the Fed stepped in at the end of the day. I got a confirmation of that. Hey guys, for the 90,000 people still writing that the Fed just wrote a half a point cut, I've been saying that for about the past 4 minutes, guys. You don't have to type in the chat box that the Fed did a rate cut. Yeah, I do. Well, Susie's sick, and she actually slept upstairs in Matthew's room, and I'm trying to leave town tomorrow to go flying. So I hope I am not sick. Anyway. All right, here we go. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, I've taught you guys for ages here, buy on the rumor, sell on the news. So this stupid Fed-induced rally, I think we're going to go back and touch this 200-day moving average. All right, let me get back to this. The 50 basis rate, I would expect the Dow to be up 1,000 points right now with the Fed stepping in, cutting 0.5%. It's not. So let's just hang out. Let me finish my administrative stuff. Okay, flight schedule, admin items, accelerated retirements tomorrow at 10 a.m. Like I told folks yesterday, we're closed. No more full throttle annual max, folks, even. I don't care if you want to throw money at it, we're closed. The quality will not, I'm not going to allow the quality to suffer. So we're done with full throttle, folks. You can still do the academics. The full throttle training is tonight at 7 p.m. Thursday night is on hold right now. I'm still waiting to get the flight schedule for the rest of the week up in Fairhope. I'll be trading the rest of the week. I mean, hell, I could trade airborne, guys. We were doing a loop the other day, a couple weeks ago. I'm like in the back seat looking at my E-Trade platform. I can multitask, but I'll let you know about Thursday night if we're going to do training. Do me a favor. So we have like 190 people registered for the full throttle training tonight. Do not register more than once. A lot of folks squeezed people out of solo Amazon yesterday. Ultimately, that's my responsibility and my fault, but hey man, it doesn't help when people register 20 times for the same event and you boot 20 people who were supposed to be in there out. Now, it was very fortuitous for some people because you can get into those Amazon trades if you weren't in there a little bit better. So anyway, let's go ahead and we'll do training tonight, and then obviously the April event is on hold. So the Dow's already given some of this stuff back, so let's not buy those reactionary calls. Trying to get into the EWJ. Okay, so let's go ahead and so I got some emergency calls on in case, you know what, I'm going to get out of these. I'm closing these. Those calls I just got filled on. I think we roll over here and we're done. Let me get out of these. Let me get out of the emergency calls I just bought. Dow's going to be negative. I think we're going to have a down day here. So let me get out of these. I'm going to get out of these at the open. I'll take the grand loss or whatever it is. Build good. I'm out. All right. Let's go back to here. So I just got out of those calls. We're gonna head lower here. Yeah, the options pricing is all over the place, guys. Remember, the first hour of trading is called amateur hour. So anyway, all right, here we go. Real quick, yeah, I was a little late jumping on here because this press release just hit the wires. Top Gun Options founder Matthew Buckley selected as the honorary chairperson for the 10th anniversary Walk Like Mad Dash down here in Fort Lauderdale. So really looking forward to that. I'm going to be giving you guys more details about that soon. For 3 years in a row, we've been the largest company and individual fundraiser for the Walk Like Mad event, and that's because of you guys. So I'm going to hit you guys up again every year I do. It's a great charitable donation, and it's a 100% preventable crime, and for many of us, a tragedy. My sister got killed when she was 19 at Villanova University. So changed the arc of my life, so to speak. As I reminded all the new folks, I think I posted about 25 articles, intel, funny pictures yesterday on our Facebook page. You have got to be on the Facebook page. You got to get over here. There's the link. You got to click like. Throughout the day, everything is up on this page, period. You have got to follow the Top Gun Options Facebook page. So, yeah, well, I know a lot of you don't know that about me. Well, we'll talk about my subtle plug, my book tonight, and I can get you guys an autographed copy of my book, and it kind of goes through the journey of my life and everything like that to really get to know me. Here we go. So let me explain Solo Amazon. For those of you that are in Solo Amazon yesterday, like I said, I tried to keep it in go-to training so you guys can keep hearing all your, chat back and forth and all sorts of stuff. And let me get rid of these Apple calls too. I'm dumping them that I just bought. Apple's not going anywhere. I can get out of them for even money here. Let me get out of this. So those were reactionary trades, and it did not see, the Fed coming in for 0.5 point. Nothing's happening, which Remember, folks, the Fred Sanford, I told you the big one's going to happen here when what? When the central banks step in to save capitalism and it don't work. Okay. So even with a couple little minor losses there, this portfolio is up $250,000 year to date. Well, that's month to date. All right. So let me get back here. So solo Amazon guys, a bunch of you, you know, registered multiple times. And also, did everybody get this email this morning? New primary live trade brief, SPX bear call spread, spelling error, and long put. So I sent out a text alert, not a text alert, an email alert, okay, 24 minutes ago. Give me a vertical head nod. Good. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody got it. Awesome. Here's the deal, folks. On our broadcaster here, and my techie's on this, it's going to be more work for me until he figures out what's going on. Let me just show you what the control panel looks like so you have an idea of what the issue is. So, for example, here's up here is like the alerts for the live trade briefs, right? I can send out a text, SMS, email, and send SMS and email. This is like when I press send, a text fires and email fires. If I just wanted to send an email, I click that one. If I just wanted to send a text alert, I click that one. We're having our problems with this one we've narrowed it down to. When I try and do dual, and the text alert company is, they are the ones actually having problems. Got an email late last night like, yeah, we're having problems with our texting systems. I'm like, thanks for the heads up. So until further notice, I'm just going to blast stuff out via email to make sure everybody gets it. And reminder, folks, we're one of the only services that does this. We do both. Okay. Why do I do both? For this contingency. So at least one of them is working. If you didn't get an email, VA, Frank, I guarantee you it is sitting in your spam. Why? Because I can tell. So everybody needs to go and look into their spam, or you need to like whitelist Top Gun options. I guarantee you, unless, and this is the 99.9% of the time that I'm wrong, like you signed up for the service with one email, like your spam email, your fake email that you do stuff with, and you're like, I love Susie sits here all day trying to help somebody out. They're like, oh, that's not the email I want my stuff sent to. That's not my responsibility. So, Steve, absolutely not. Cannot send closing. That is giving investment advice. And about 2-3 years ago, during my annual compliance review for my attorneys, absolutely not. During the briefs, ladies and gentlemen, I say when I'd be getting out of a trade, and we'll cover this tonight in full throttle training. You need to decide when you're getting out of a trade. I cannot send out text alerts saying, hey, I'm getting out of this trade. The closing trade can be considered investment advice. Remember, folks, in a brief, what do we do in a brief? In a brief, we cover all the contingencies. Hey, if it's at this profit, I'm going to look to get out. If it's at this loss, I'm looking to exit. That's it. That's all you need to know. Now these puts or this, somebody asked, Dano, I think you asked a couple minutes ago. Yeah, this bear call spread to tomorrow is still valid. I think we're gonna implode and start going lower here, guys. Now the Dow's red. We are going to go back down and through the 50-day moving average. Okay. Mike, just to confirm, the email in question is PLTB starts in 1 hour. Nope, Mike, it was on the screen. New PLTB SPX bear call spread long puts. It had the S&P puts I was going to buy at the open and the bear call spread that I got at the open. This is the email, folks. All right, we got to really move on from administrative things here. Let's talk. G7 finance ministers, central bankers stand ready to address coronavirus. Okay. Let's go. And so here's the deal. If you were in solo, how many of you were in weekly options yesterday and did what I went over to solo options or after weekly options, I said, I'm closing that SPX bear call spread. We did an S&P 500 bear call spread that made 90%, made $3,000 in an hour. And before solo Amazon started, I got on and I said, hey, if you're in that one, I am closing it. I can tell you what I'm doing, right? So thank God we closed that. And yeah, 90%. Do not, because here's a perfect example of my don't take a 90% winning trade and turn it into a 100% losing trade. So we got into it right here. We got out of it right there, went over to Solo Amazon, and the Fed stepped in at 3 o'clock. Look at this, folks. What did I tell you is going to happen? At 2:30. So we could never get above 30.40 yesterday. It failed. It really failed at 2:30 when margin calls started coming out. This was going to be a massive leg down in the market. And the New York Federal Reserve, I know for a fact, I got a text confirmation, and absolutely brilliant. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk through some stuff. So this is a Wall Streetism for a weekend, for forever, not the weekend. Buy the rumor, sell the news. If you were here in the fall, we printed money on what? The Fed meetings. The Fed's going to cut a quarter point in about a month. Buy the hell out of the market. The Fed is going to actually just announce they're cutting a quarter point. Sell everything and get bearish. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. This is a Wall Streetism because it's the truth. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that today. This rip your face off, explosion yesterday was on the Fed, and the G7 is going to cure coronavirus. And of course, I say that tongue in cheek. 2 cases in Atlanta. We have more cases in Florida. New York, folks, is going to turn into South Korea. Yeah, of course, people knew about the cut yesterday, but the Fed propping the market up into the close was an absolute disgrace. Given the potential impacts of COVID-19 on global growth, we affirm our commitment to use all appropriate policy tools to achieve strong, sustainable growth and safeguard against downside risks. You do all know that this isn't going to do anything. They're going to lend to banks, right? Here's a shit pot of taxpayers' money, or actually money we just printed out of thin air. Make sure you lend it. Do you think for 1 minute banks are going to give you like a small business loan when people are shut inside their houses with duct tape and plastic around the windows? The answer is no. This, and by the way, funny, isn't this funny? This meeting was via what? Phone. I sat up late last night. I watched the Australian Open, the Royal RBA, the Royal Bank of Australia cut rates, Malaysia. I sat here and watched the Asian Open here, man. So all the world banks are jumping in to provide an elixir at the same time that this thing is spreading like wildfire through the United States of America. And some people have been asking about FXI. I talked to my buddy in Hong Kong from Macquarie. Chinese markets are proving resilient to coronavirus turmoil. What? Oh my God, folks. We must be wrong about what's going on in China macroeconomically. Why don't we get bullish on China? My God, man, I'm such a nerd that Friday night I sat here in my pajamas and looked at the China manufacturing numbers, which I did. My buddy in Hong Kong said that there's never been a lower print in the history of any country than these implosion. Any reading below a 50 indicates contraction in the economy, right? Amazingly, for the past 2 years, we've been in a trade war with China. They've always reported over 50. The prediction was 45.1, 51.4. I sat here, with my bottle of wine, of course, and I was like, that has to be absolutely wrong. Nope. So this is, and just look at the chart. Look at the picture. I'm a picture guy. La 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 la. Bam. This is actually negative. I guarantee you this is negative. When the history of this thing is written, their PMIs are negative. So Trump says coronavirus is manageable. Of course he did. And of course he does. And it might be manageable, folks. It's not manageable when you test somebody and let them go in San Antonio and then say, oh my God, that person's actually positive. the tests aren't working, right? Thomas, Fed lowered 50 basis points. Guys, you got to show up on time, man. I think immediately into the open, we talked about the Fed lowering 50 points. Please do me a favor and let's stay out of the chat box for a little bit unless you got like a really good question. Governor Cuomo confirms second coronavirus in New York, warns virus likely spreading in communities. Second New York case commuted to Manhattan, traveled to Miami. Read that again, but slowly. Manhattan, ladies and gentlemen. I told you last week that we got emails saying that the New York Stock Exchange, that historic floor, might close. The pub tested negative for coronavirus, which is fantastic because the tests don't work. But anyway, I'm glad the Pope doesn't have coronavirus and he's just been not seen and sick. Quick question for everybody. Anybody seen Xi Jinping in over 3 weeks? 3 weeks. You haven't seen the leader of China. Has anybody seen the dear leader of North Korea? The answer is no. 51 in the UK. The United States total tops 100 across 15 states. Last, what was it, Tuesday, Thursday, whenever, what was the number Donald Trump said in his press conference last week? And he talked it down. Who's going to get a gold star? I was drinking champagne. It was right before I met Mike Rowe and talked to him for like 3 hours. What did the president say? Jerry, you got it. 15 last Tuesday, Donald J. Trump, or Wednesday, whenever it was, said, hey, man, this is fine. There's 15, if that, and they're going down. Maybe he got it wrong and meant 15 states. Folks, this is insanity. Now the Dow's turning green. So let me just give you a little bit of a heads up. Step 0 that I've been saying for a month and a half is this. Step 0 is this. Do nothing. If you don't want to sit here and trade this volatility in the open like I just did, and it was wrong, but the Dow might be right, don't do anything. We're going to see this stuff for the future. You can day trade the hell out of this. You just have to have the stomach for it. So if you don't, hang out. I would absolutely positively hang on to all of those puts. We're going to talk about Japan in a couple minutes. We're going to talk about all this stuff. Okay. Oh my God, Tamara, 8% of Iran's parliament has COVID-19. I saw the vice president. I saw one of their leaders, like the number 5 guy, just died of coronavirus. Whew. So step 0, folks, is do no harm, right? The hippopotamus oath. Don't do anything right now. And if you have puts on and stuff like that, I think you are very, very smart. Okay. So yeah, so guys, we'll get to it in a second, but the muted reaction right now to the Fed coming in with a 50 basis point cut is doing nothing really, right? We're kind of, yay, massive cut, boo, yay. So we got to get back up to 31.25 to see if it's a yay. Otherwise, this thing's going to start dribbling lower. Okay. Fed cut interest. Yeah, Nike just received another downgrade from UBS. We're going to talk about Nike. That's on my list. Chris, email support. Brady, I don't know if you should hold the bear call thread through tomorrow. I have no idea why you got into it. What's your commit criteria? If they've changed, get out of it. If not, stay in it. So, Governor Cuomo said the news of the second New York patient should not be cause for alarm, reiterating that health officials had expected that the disease would be found all over the place. So let me say this again. Governor Cuomo, who's just a human piece of feces, see that day when they signed that partial birth abortion law? They're all like jumping up and high-fiving. Yay for infanticide. Yay for killing a child. Disgusting people. Yes, people are going to get infected. Okay. and 80% self-resolve. I think that's an absolute lie. The new patient is hospitalized and works in Manhattan. Everybody know what a man is in Manhattan? My God, man. The real issue is how many people will get seriously ill. Thanks, Governor. $40 million emergency aid package. Okay. The New York Times also reported that a high school in Westchester County had closed. Folks, they're closing schools. Washington State schools are closed. My God, man. New York State schools around these outbreaks are closing. Here we go, man. So the market has a rip your face off implosion last week because it's raging around the world. And now it's raging or starting to rage around the United States, and the Dow's up 72. You can't make this stuff up. Here's how I knew yesterday, folks. Here, exactly. If it's nothing, why do we have these disaster bills and everything like that? Here's what you needed to look at yesterday to know that the market, it was a really kind of a hold your nose rally. What did you have to look at? Three things. The VIX, which was what? We're up here, folks. A 1,200. I've never seen a 1,200 point rally in the Dow Jones Industrial Life in my life. But I would have expected the VIX to implode, and it didn't. What else did you need to look at? Bonds. Bonds are at emergency lows. Then what the third thing you needed to look at was what? Gold. Gold should have imploded yesterday if everybody's floating back into equities. Though, write those down. Write this down so for you to figure out if things are crap or for real. Right? Gold, the VIX, and bonds. Okay. Let's see what the GLD is doing today. There you go. So if everybody's super happy about the Fed stepping in right now, why are treasuries at record lows? Why is gold rallying? Right? Tim Cook and Apple bet everything on China, then the coronavirus hit. I think 300 is going to be it for Apple, folks. Failing to get back up here at this 50-day moving average. It's failing and failing miserably. All right, let's talk through what else was up here. Going to be bearish on Apple. I like the Nike downgrade. What's Nike doing today? NKE. They got downgraded and are up 2%. We're going to sell into that. So here's your classic dead bat bounce, folks. These are what these things look like. Boing. What do you think we're going to do that? I think it's going to be like a reverse square root. Boing, up, level, or down. Nike. Uyghurs are putting your shoes together. All right. Kevin will talk about Brazil in a second. Could not be more bearish on Brazil. So here we are, folks. Dow's up 100 points after the Fed stepped in and did what markets expected it to do and cut 50 basis points. We're up 100 now. Now we're up 80. Now the Dow's bouncing down again. You might be living in a time right now as I'm speaking to you where we have the Fred Sanford where we do grasp our chest and we go lower because the Fed doesn't do anything. Okay. So let's see if the SPX kind of failed here. Yep. So gap, tried to get back up to that gap up, and now we're kind of rolling over here. Buy the rumor, sell the news. If this 50 basis point cut doesn't really do anything, we're in trouble. Not us, because we're going to pound it into the dirt, but the overall, everybody's screwed. Okay. I am shocked, to be honest with you, that right now we are looking at a 50 basis point cut and the Dow's up 40. Why? Because they did it yesterday, according to the way the market traded. Wow. All right. That. So liquidity panic is back. The Fed repos massively oversubscribed due to market turmoil. In case we needed another confirmation that there was a sudden, unexpected liquidity clog in the interbank market, dealers submitted a record 107 billion overnight repos. This is absolute insanity, folks. Absolute insanity. We covered this the other day. As markets fall, ask yourself, is now the time to buy? The answer is absolutely, positively no. All the people, all the idiots on CNBC and all these other folks that are like, oh, I'm going to nibble down here. I'm going to step in here because we're going to see this on the way back up. Really? You're a virologist? It actually, after we talked about it yesterday afternoon, I saw it in some of the media last night I watched. People were like, it's Super Tuesday. People are kind of worrying about to go and vote. I'm like, what about November? And who was it? Somebody's well, what if the president declares martial law? Oh my God, people's faces were already melting off, folks. All the liberals were already doing the whole, oh my God, Trump can impose martial law and, we're going to have a revolution. Okay, so let's talk through let's get tactical. So last week, obviously, clearly the best week ever in 28 years. It was fantastic. In the primary portfolio, let's debrief what we did last week. COVID crash, PLTB. So on Friday, let me just show you all the orders before I went flying. There they were. Everything was open. I closed some EWZ, those EWZ puts for like 100 grand. There's the orders from Friday. And then there we were when they got filled, $379,000 year to date. I trading the S&P 500, Brazil, 67 grand trading Brazil. The Moderna calls and Gilead, we printed a bunch of money on them. I put on new trades and they kind of flattened out. So who cares? That's just absolute insanity. Just great stuff. So it's kind of, to be honest with you, a waste of time to debrief what we did last week because it doesn't matter. So what have you done for me lately? Let's talk. Here we go. Strategic mindset could not be more bearish. Markets take the escalator up and the elevator down. This took the window down, as we predicted. Markets do not do this. These snapback rallies that happened, that was Fed induced. You saw it yesterday afternoon live. At 2:30, the margin calls started hitting and the market rolled over big time. And magically, as soon as the clock struck 3, the invisible or not invisible hand of the Federal Reserve stepped in. The New York Federal Reserve, folks, stepped in to save a lot of their Wall Street buddies. Okay, so my strategic mindset is incredibly bearish. Okay, incredibly bearish. I don't know how you don't get bearish on it being in Manhattan. That's the financial. It was. I love when CNBC starts their day. Welcome from the financial capital of the world. Oh, you're in London now? London is the actual financial capital of the world. It's not New York City. Long time ago. New York, Mayor Cuomo and all the other dirtbag Democrats in New York have driven everybody out of Leon Cooperman. The Leon Cooperman uptick rule the other day. He's up the street from me in Boynton Beach. They all left New York. What is it? Greenwich, Connecticut is absolutely imploding. It's insanity. So, all right. Let me talk through that. I covered that. I absolutely believe that they're going to. So we talked to EWJ yesterday in the weekly options brief, and in just about every portfolio we're in right now, it's the name kind of sucks because this is new market. New market is what we're doing right now. I absolutely believe that Japan's going to. Here's another classic dead cat bounce. Implosion kind of level, implosion bounce. There's absolutely nothing bullish in Japan right now. I got a buddy who's on the staff overseas. I mean, hell, we have a U.S. service member who has it in Okinawa, has coronavirus. And he's been sitting in his room all by himself when he thought he was infected, not running around with hundreds of other Marines. I absolutely am convinced the Olympics are going to be canceled. They might wait a little bit, and they're going to look stupid. Every day they go, we talked to Graham yesterday. Graham's down in Australia, and he's like, we've already changed our TV programming. Where the hell are my questions going? Hang on a second here. Received. Let me do that. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Glad I'm not using Robinhood. What an apps. It would be horrible. If you were at Robinhood yesterday, you got they're out of bit. They're done. I'd be leaving a meeting with my attorney right now and suing the hell out of that company. Just read Japan Olympics could be moved to the end of the year. Tamara, that's a great catch. I've been looking for all the intel I could find. That's got to be brand new because I haven't heard that. So good. Thanks for reporting that to me. I don't. They're kicking the can down the road, right? I don't see them. Well, I guess they can kick the can down the road indefinitely on Reuters. Oh, good. And there it is. Yes, good job, Tamara. Tamara's on this thing. So, obviously, folks, the risks to being bearish on Japan is this, and we haven't talked about this in a while. The BOJ, baby, the Bank of Japan. Governor Kuroda, right? Isn't it? He's Minister Kuroda is the head of Japan. I got to be honest with you. Japan's been wandering around the desert for about 20 years. Since the 90s, essentially, they've been a zombie economy. Look at this. So here's what's funny. When Donald Trump, starts flapping his arms with his over orange makeup on his face with negative rates. Has negative rates worked for Japan? Here's a 5-year chart. Somebody just typed the words no. They have had a zombie economy. Zero interest rates or negative are not the elixir that it seems. Okay, so I absolutely would get bearish on the EWJ, and let's move over to another EW, the EWZ. They have a ton of cases in Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, how do I say that? Venezuela, whoever else, Colombia, they have shut their borders with Brazil. This is a dead cat bounce, and I'd sell into it. Where's the half the gap? Kind of right there. What's that, 40.5? I would absolutely. These were from earlier in the week. So I have EWZ. I have a 40.5 out to Friday, a bear call spread. Okay, the 40.5 bear call spread. Let me show you what that trade is. You can get it at a better price, and we'll talk about maybe doing it more conservative. Right now, it's a little bit in the money. Obviously, it's at $40.05. Go up one, go up 50 cents. Let's see what the 41 is. Hell, look at the 41. You can go up 95 cents from here, folks. This is the one I would do right now. My better half was supposed to go to a conference in San Antonio tomorrow. Canceled. Facebook pulled out. Yeah. Oh, folks, the South by Southwest conference, I think that whole thing's going to cancel. There's a case in San Antonio. How many of you want to go hang out on 6th Street in Austin and see if you can catch coronavirus? I think they canceled the whole thing, Celia, but I know Facebook pulled out of it. Do you want to go to a conference in San Antonio where the largest tech companies like, we don't want to endanger our employees? The answer is no. All right, so let's do, for folks, the regular SOP here at Topkin Options would be doing 150 of these contracts, selling 150 of Friday's 41 calls against EWZ. That's 93 cents away from here. Okay. Hey, you know what? I'll add to this. I have what do I have? The 40.5. I'll do the 41 and a half. Looking at the metrics of this trade risks $5,400 to potentially make $2,000, $2,100 in 3.5 days, man. Jim, also companies being sued by sending employees if they get the virus by attending. Of course. Yep. Send me into a known hotbed of a deadly pathogen. I'd file suit. You got it. Yeah, I saw that, Celia. The Houston Energy Conference. That is the biggest energy conference, except for the other one in Saudi Arabia, Celia. They canceled that one in Houston, so I don't know why South by Southwest isn't closing. But guys, on your screen right now is the EWZ spread I would do for the week. I already have one on, and I'm going to add to it. Why? Because I'm absolutely convinced that Brazil is in a shit pot of trouble. They're lying about the cases that they have, and they closed down their borders. Chicago Houseware shows in Chicago canceled. 60,000 people for 5 days. Obi, thanks for that heads up. Kevin, Natural Product West Conference in California in May was canceled. Holy crap, 80,000 people, Kevin? So there you go. Now we're getting all these reports from members who were supposed to be going to stuff. Somebody tell me how the Fed cutting rates a quarter of a point and making bankers richer is going to help the Natural Product Conference or the Chicago Houseware Show. The Fed cutting rates 50 basis points. How does that help the little cafes in Chicago or the restaurants or all these places? It doesn't. This is why mom and pop hate Wall Street. How many of you got bailed out during the financial crisis? How many of you got, your company was ordered to be bought by Bank of America to save your company? None of you did. This is why people, you want to talk about another potential revolution? This is how Bernie Sanders wins and goes, hey, the Fed is juicing the economy. The only thing they're juicing are bankers. I'm going to do 300 contracts. Why? Because we made about $307,000 last week. So I got a ton of capital to play with. Whenever I say pound something into the dirt, I mean it. I double my contract size when I say pound it into the dirt. Does everybody understand that? Tamara, I saw that last night, man. Those videos made me want to cry. People in Iran, folks, are licking these holy shrines. Life is a self-cleaning oven. What a disgusting group of people. They deserve everything bad that happens to them. Well, they're part of humanity, Wiz. I don't care. They can disappear. People going to places in Iran and licking shrines where you have a coronavirus outbreak. So anyway, Nashville area deaths. From what, Karen? I can't be from coronavirus. Oh, a tornado. I saw that. Oh, is the South by Southwest changing to be a virtual conference? That's comical. All the bands, so there you go. So how do local businesses in Austin make money off of a virtual conference? The answer is it doesn't. Gold jumps, dollar dumps after emergency 50 basis point cut. I love this sentence. What level of interest rates is required to incentivize you to risk the death of yourself and your family? Well, I got to read that one. Talk about that. Holy crap, man. 23 Iranian members of parliament and head of their emergency medical services confirmed for coronavirus. Whew. Dems converge around dementia-addled warmonger. G7 disappoints. Future slide after group of 7 fails to announce new action. So this is dated because the G7 really didn't announce anything, but guess who did? The Fed. And we're only seeing a Dow up 90 points, folks. This is a precipice. This is a hover moment. Where are we? In my professional opinion, this hover will be back down to the 200-day moving average. Remember, folks, I'm beating a dead horse here. The market does not live happily in between the two moving averages. These are magnets. It reacts violently. Okay, so let's talk about more things that I want to trade. Some of the, where's my Apple? I didn't get on Apple yet. 300 seems to be it's a great movie, but it also seems to be the make or break line for Apple. It's failing. Okay, institutional investors are not stepping into Apple right now to buy it again. Okay. Fauci, we should know within a couple months if GLD's treatment works. Still holding my calls. Yeah, we can talk about that. I was going to go over to Apple, but let's talk through Gilead. Wow, we had a lot of activity last week in Gilead and Moderna, mRNA. So if you want to buy some calls on Moderna, the reason we bought calls last week on Moderna, a couple quick strike kills on those. They shipped the phase 1 trial. Phase 1 trial is supposed to be in April. Okay. Greg, where do you have Dow up only 90? I showed Dow March contracts up 310 points. Greg, what are you looking at? Turn on a TV. The Dow's up 107 points right now. I'm not looking at Dow March futures contracts. I have no idea what you're talking about. But let's talk about this, guys, since I actually do want to get back into these. If we do have some sort of rip your face off Fed rally, if the market wakes up this afternoon to, oh, hey, did you not see like hours ago that the Fed cut 50 basis points? I'm going to get into Gilead. We traded Gilead, what was it, last week, the week before? Really good trades in this. Well, let me just see what the expirations were. Where's our Gilead? We made 10 grand on Gilead. This was, these were the Feb 28s. Look at these. Made over 10 grand on this Gilead calls, 200%. And then I bought more. I closed those and made more, and we made 9 grand. That was 19 grand on our Gilead calls. I think that was an accelerated retirement, though. SPX, no, 313 strike on TradeStation. Guys, I can't tell you what you're looking at there. So let's get back to Gilead, guys. I am going to buy, and I'm going to get back into Moderna too. And this is kind of a hedge against, the market waking up and going, hey, the Fed is going to really save us. Look at how high these calls. So very speculative right now. Listen to me. If you buy calls on Moderna or Gilead and they lose money, I don't want to hear you wank about it. I have no idea what's going on in Gilead or Moderna. I do know from what their press releases say, like, we're on the forefront of this thing, and if we're going to get a vaccine, we're on it. Did everybody watch the press conference with Donald J. Trump yesterday? Did everybody see what the pharmaceutical companies, how long will it take to get a vaccine? You don't have to type it in the chat box. The answer is a year. Donald Trump at the Twitter 4 minutes ago, the Federal Reserve is cutting but must cut further. And most importantly, come into line with other countries and competitors. We are not playing on a level field, not fair to USA. It is finally time for the Fed to lead. More easing and cutting. I need to be reelected, and I'm going to blame the Fed. Wow. Okay. Let's stay focused here. April, I think let's go on Moderna. I'm going to go out to April, and I'm going to buy some Moderna calls. Okay, they're down 9% today. Super, and we might be getting them at a discount. Okay. Ray, just got a 50 basis point unexpected cut, dude. Ray, we've been talking about that for 49 minutes, guys. All right, Moderna, where's the delta? I'm going to buy these 21 calls. I tend to buy calls. You'll learn about this in Full Throttle training. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about Trump, right? Yeah, exactly. I know. You just got a 50 basis point cut, and you're wanking about it. But, guys, love him or hate him right now, he's a politician. He's going to get reelected. Think about this, folks. You guys know where I've been. The president is lying to us. He knows that this was a biological weapon, accidentally got out. What if he's just kind of sitting on that? I'm furious with the guy. How many times over the past 2.5 years did he say, I know everything that went in to the FISA documents. I'm going to declassify them. People are going to jail. And never did. I'm like, he sat there and played I Got a Secret. Oh, I know that they lie. I'm going to declassify everything. And he didn't. Absolute disgrace playing I Got a Secret. It's disgusting. furious with the president. So now he knows that the Chinese bioweapon, what is he going to spring this on us in the summer or the fall and go, I just found this out, man. This was a biological weapon. They're the evil ones. Only I can stand up to China. Wow. All right, enough. Let's stay. I got to stay focused here. When you're buying calls, folks, it's a debit. You're please, for the love of God and all things holy, you have got to be watching the Full Throttle training on long calls. The other night we did a long call section. Let me put it here. I'm not going to waste a ton of time in the brief talking about long calls and everything. It's right there. A couple people got on the website. We haven't done, where is it? Services. Options Weapon School. I haven't done that in 3.5 years. It was a lower price service and there was some training in that. People bought it because it's cheaper than Full Throttle. There's no training in Options Weapon School. We haven't done it in 3.5 years, and I don't know if we're going to do it again. So, folks, you got to be in Full Throttle. All right. But buying calls, folks, you're probably going to have to walk. It's called walking on up to get filled. You're never going to get filled at the bid when you want to buy. This is how much I want to pay for your house. Yeah, okay, dude. Well, this is how much I'm asking. Well, somewhere in the middle is called mid-market. Why don't we try and meet in the middle? Well, when you're buying something, buying a debit spread or buying calls, you probably got to go a little bit closer to the ask guy. There's a magical place on that market maker's platform that says, you know what, that's a good price. There's a 99.9% probability you're going to get filled and immediately be losing a little money because they're not going to fill you on a trade where they are losing money. Does that make sense? So Jeff got a 790 fill. Wow, then I am going to go mid to market. I'm going to buy 10. Let me grab a screenshot of this. I'm going to buy 10 of these. Actually, maybe 15. I like round numbers. And then right around, what would be, I'm going to do 20. Again, folks, do not get into these things if you think they're going to lose money. I don't know if they're going to make money. That's why I'm buying calls. If I knew they were going to make money, I would do a burner trade. Now I'm going to do 10 of these. I'm going to buy 10 of these Moderna calls. But you know what? Not right now. Dow's down 100 points right now. I'm not going to buy anything right now. If you got the Gilead and the Moderna calls still on, hang in them. I'm not. I'm going to hang out. Even Gilead might. Yeah. If we get another slam down to the 200-day moving average, these aren't going to be exempt, even if they are working on a cure. These will go up if, breaking news, Gilead announces, the phase 1 trials are complete and vaccine's good to go, but it's going to be a year from now. So no, I changed my mind. So remember, when we do our trade plan, my strategic mindset right now is bearish. So buying those long calls, I believe I'm going to be able to get even more at a discount. So no, I'm not going to do that. VA, what's the risk if I buy the EWZ spread for March 13th? You're not buying an EWZ spread. You'd be selling one. You can do it out to the 13th. I'm being tactical. I would absolutely. The 13th is fine, folks. You can go out a week, but I'm keeping the definitely staying way more tactical on my trading out a couple days. Okay. But no, going out to the third, I would stay tactical, but that's me. You're going out to next Friday. I don't even know if we're all going to be alive next Friday. And I say that half tongue in cheek. This thing is changing minute by minute, folks. But the fact that the Fed this morning did a emergency 50 basis point cut and the president's yelling about it and the market's down a little bit right now tells you all you need to know. Let's go over to one of our big gauges. I have to talk about Nike. I have other stuff we got to talk about. The VIX is up here, folks. It's staying up. So not investors, I'll say traders. Traders are saying the Fed just cut and nothing happened. This was like October and September to us, folks. Buy the rumor of a Fed cut and sell the news. I absolutely am convinced of this. So, yeah, exactly. We should be up 1,000 points on this 50 basis cut. Oh, wait, we did it yesterday. This thing and the Fed stepped in. Like I've said numerous times, folks, when the history of this thing is written, you'll know all of this. You won't know it right now. You didn't know about all the stuff going on during the financial crisis. I knew some of it. I didn't know all the craziness that was going on Sunday afternoons, all the panic in the White House and on Wall Street. So after these type of things pass is when you find out what really happened. And we find out that I was right, that page 1 of every government manual says, hey man, during the time of national emergency, you can do whatever the hell you need to do. So the Fed is doing whatever the hell it needs to do. But and it and it needs to be said, folks, that the Fed can't cure coronavirus, right? So, John, I can't stop during a live trade brief to answer upgrading to full throttle questions. Please email Susie, support at Top Gun Options. So, I absolutely, coronavirus continues to spread rapidly. The WHO's at what, 10:30? They do their, or it's going on right now. Here are some potential threats to being bearish right now. This is a big one. Let me remind you of this. So they're putting this out as Mnuchin's talking. Mnuchin says not considering China a tariff rollback at this time. Not enough interest to issue a 50-year bond. There will be some issues for GDP. There will be some issues for U.S. GDP this year. I'd love to be a congressman. No, I wouldn't. Congressmen suck. I'd be like, define some issues, Mr. Secretary. Mnuchin, coronavirus will be worse than the flu. Where's all my people? Oh, I can't wait to post this on my Facebook page. Where's your panicking people? I'm like, panicking, man. You won't see me panic. You will never see me panic. Coronavirus will be worse than the flu. I thought a week ago the president said the flu was worse than coronavirus. People will die more a year from the flu. This thing's contained. There's only 15 people. Oh, really? NIH official, whatever, says we should know within several months whether or not Gilead's antiviral coronavirus treatment works. So you know what? I'm not buying those calls again right now. I think there's more downside. Excuse me. I think we can get them cheaper. Right? So, Ed, did you see the reason the WHO won't declare a pandemic might be that if they did, then all the Wall Street types who bought pandemic bonds would lose their money. Bonds mature in July. Ooh. Well, guys, we know this. The WHO is a political organization. It's not a medical organization. It's not the CDC. We all laughed, black humor laugh, when the CDC or the WHO did their press conference a month ago and said, yeah, this is awful. Oh, by the way, but China's awesome. They're doing everything fantastic. Nobody could do better than China. We love our dear China overlords. It was the worst press conference I've ever seen in my life. All right. So this is the Powell put. Given that we're pretty likely to be testing the zero bound again, maybe even this year, I wonder if the Fed should not have moved a little faster on policy review. All right, guys. So let me get back to Apple. I'm a little scattered this morning. I go take some. I better be able to fly tomorrow. Well, I'll put it this way: I am flying tomorrow. So it really seems like 300 is that institutional line. We broke through it with serious airspeed, and we're now trying to get back up to it. And I think it's going to be resistance. So all you have to do, folks, is look at the battle going on right now around zero on the Dow. This is the market trying to decide if we care about a 50 basis point cut. There's the high of the open on the S&P 500. Where's my line? There's the open, and here's what we're doing. Keeps rallying, 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 and we're not. All right. So Apple. And so we, loaded up with a lot of bearish trades, folks. As I said at the beginning of the brief, step 0 in this thing is to do nothing. Sit in cash, sit in, just sit on the sidelines. Jan, Got EWZ, got EWJ. Jan, where you been? Covered EWJ, covered EWZ. Please don't ask questions about stuff I've already covered. Guys, you got to show up here on time. I've already spent time covering EWJ and covering EWZ. You're taking up chat box space with stuff we've already covered, guys. This is why we keep these things small and we are closed. A lot of angry people in support wanting to become members, and we're actually like, no, we're done. So Apple, here we go. VA, would I buy, hang on a second. So who's going to get the golden ticket and ask him, does a 50 basis point cut cure coronavirus? If he asks that and stumbles, the market implodes. Let's just listen. Steve, I'm listening to the Fed. If you're not someplace to listen to the Fed, then you're going to have to wait. I'm not going to, I can't hold my microphone up to the TV. I'm leaning over. Yep. Uh-huh. Not to keep equities up. All right, here we go. Questions.
Thank you. Nick Timmeros at the Wall Street Journal. Two questions. First, what changed between last week when many of your colleagues seemed to indicate it was still too soon to tell how this might influence the outlook? What changed between last week and today? How much confidence do you have that relatively complete recovery of economic activity after the peak of this virus has passed? So we've been carefully monitoring the situation since it first became known and waiting to see how it would evolve. And I think we've come to the view now that it is time for us to act in support of the economy. Once we reached that decision, we decided to go ahead. So what changed really was, I would say, over the course of the last couple of weeks, we've seen a broader spread of the virus.
This isn't a good. I'm going to do a bear call spread on Apple. This is not a good.
It's not the technology, but the risk to the economy. So we saw a risk to the outlook. In terms of my confidence that we'll return to, what was your question? How do you expect this to the economy to recover from this? Do you see it as a persistent decline in activity or something that will be relatively temporary and short-lived? I don't think anybody knows how long it will be. I do know that the U.S. economy is strong and we will get to the other side of this, and I fully expect that we'll return to solid growth and a solid labor market. Hi, Mr. Gary, from the New York Times. You said that the ultimate solutions will come from others, and
Congress.
First, is this part of a coordinated action with other central banks? expecting to see more as part of that? And second, what would you like to see from American fiscal policymakers in response to so, first question, we were in active discussion.
A quick translation of that. Ben Bernanke, when he sat in front of the Congress after one of these type of things, he's like, he was Scotty in the engine room. He's like, guys, I'm giving you all I got. I can't give you no more. You guys need to act, the government, not me. I'm not strong enough to do this. That's what that was. Wow. And look at that. Slam. Love this. Wow. Classic. Yeah, bonds are yep.
Sorry, Heather Scott with AFP. The G7 statement seemed to indicate that that policymakers would use tools, but were not going to do anything imminent.
Yeah.
Contradict that?
And then you cut. Yeah, so the G7's like, we're standing by to help, and then they jumped in immediately. Yeah. Good question.
Heather Long from the Washington Post. There's been some rising concern about credit markets and possible insolvencies and defaults, either from businesses or individuals from the coronavirus. Can you speak to, is the FOMC talking about this? Are we likely to see any emergency provisions from the CRA activated, or things that you normally do during, a hurricane or that type of disruption to the economy? So we don't see anything happening yet. Of course, we are thinking about what we can do should those things happen. There's no evidence that the economy continues to perform well. As I mentioned, we do hear concerns.
Exactly. Keep talking, Mr. Chairman. You're talking the market lower, which is fantastic.
When it comes to those sorts of issues, though, the supervisors will be working with banks to ensure that they work with their borrowers and that sort of thing. So I can imagine us doing those sorts of things, but those things are not upon us at the moment. Thank you, Brian Greeley, Financial Times. How the committee discussed any other monetary policy tools in addition to rate cuts and the pacing and timing of when they might be appropriate? Well, as you know, we're in the middle of a review of all of our tools. So you go back to the meetings, we've talked about what our toolkit is, and we put that in minutes. But in the current context, what we discussed is the current stance of policy is appropriate, came to the view that it was appropriate to make a change, and went ahead and did that today. Rich Miller with Bloomberg, thank you very much for having the press conference. Can you take us a little through the reasoning behind the rate cut a little bit more in depth. Was there a discussion? Some comments say this is supply side shock. The rate cuts are not particularly suitable for this. Others say, well, the supply side shock may more than the demand shock.
Jay, here's the Facebook page. It's in the chat box.
Reasoning behind the rate cut. Thank you.
All right, listen to this.
The virus outbreak is something that will require a multifaceted response, and that response will come in the first instance from healthcare professionals and health policy experts. It will also come from fiscal authorities should they determine that their response is appropriate. And it will come from many of the public and private sector businesses, schools, state and local governments. But there's also a role for monetary policy. Monetary policy can be an effective tool to support overall economic activity. We do recognize that a rate cut will not produce infection, it won't fix the broken supply.
You think?
But we do believe that our action will provide a meaningful boost to the economy.
Oof. Folks, write down the date and time that you're watching this. This might be the end of central bankers. This is you're watching history, folks. Yeah, it was 11/11. Oh, a Trump question. Yeah, double down day. It's 3/3/11/11. Remember the date and time. We'll always remember this.
It's very important that people understand that we will always make our decisions based on us thinking.
Wow.
Based on what we learned from our outreach to businesses, nonprofits.
There you go, folks. This is how it works, man. Whoop, selling to pops. Told you. Wow. We're not going to listen to politicians. Guys, as I've been listening, I've been placing trades on my screen. I just did this Apple Bear call spread. It's already up $1,000. Dow's down 330. Look out below. Mike, up 20 grand since he's been talking. Slash, I didn't say that. I said get out of the S&P 500 bullish calls I bought at the open. That was a bad move and immediately got out of those. No, the bear call spread on the S&P 500, I'm still in right here. It's up $1,100. And the puts that I bought at the open are up $8,500. Steve, I like this guy. He makes me money. Hold on, I gotta listen. Let me. Wow. That was it? Look at the big print by I got to be folks, if I was sitting here, I'd do the same thing. I go, "Wait, that was it?" The solutions will come from others. I can't cure the coronavirus. 3/3/11/11. Remember the date, remember the time. We're back down to the 200, man. If we hit this with some airspeed, buy puts with both hands. Wow. Oh, good. A lot of people making money in the room. Sweet. Woo. All right. let me turn this down. So you essentially got the Mike up 30 grand now. Good for you, man. You essentially got Jerome Powell saying, and that was a great question, guys. The Jeff, I haven't even made any trades today, and I'm up 100 grand. Exactly. So here's the deal. What you just saw was historic. The lady who asked that question deserves a medal. So you guys just met at the G7 virtual reality meeting, and you all said, we're standing by ready to act, but we're not doing anything right now. You left that conference and blasted a 50-point cut. Why? Well, we can't do everything. The Congress is going to have to. Politicians are supposed to have to do stuff. And then he got the obligatory Trump question. All right, so Apple bear call spread got filled on. Place that. It's the 300, 302 and a half out to Friday. I think this thing, wow, it's down $4 already. The Fed, so he just admitted, folks, that he can't do anything other than what he can do, which I don't know why anybody in this market would think that the Fed can do anything other than they can do. It's all bullshit, folks. It's all hopium. That's all the Fed can do is introduce a little hope. If this person who was running around Manhattan infected other people in Manhattan, the New York Stock Exchange will close this week. I guarantee it. You want to see what markets are going to do when guys aren't on the floor of the exchange? Wow. This is epic. So, all right. Apple bear call spread. Did I get a screenshot of that to put on the replay? You know what? Let me do something real quick. If you guys will indulge me, because we're done. I have all the trades that I want to have in the PLTB portfolio today. So we're done. I got my Apple bear call spread on. I got a EWJ, which is Japan bear call spread. I got disaster puts on Brazil. I got 2 bear call spreads on for the week. Why? Because I'm very, very, very bearish, and I bought some new puts at the open and sold a bear call spread for tomorrow. Okay, so on the screen is everything I would be doing. I'm not going to talk Nike, guys. That's way too many trades, way too many for people to. We'll talk about Nike tomorrow in accelerated retirement. Let me, if you guys will allow me, take some time to see if the broadcaster is working. Let me just try and send out a text alert so I can help my techie with this. So indulge me for a couple seconds. So you can see what I'm doing live here. Let me go to Infusionsoft. Kramer just said, unless the Fed can create a vaccine or beat the virus, rate cuts won't matter. That's exactly right. No, folks, we'll talk Nike tomorrow in accelerated retirement. We're burning daylight here. Primary live trade briefs, SMS only. Let me try and just send a text alert and see if this works. PLTB. New Apple bear call spread. Oops, let me paste the trade in here. This is why I don't do these during the briefs, because it takes a lot of time. Plus or minus point, I'd go 15 wide, maybe eject at $1.30. Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight, guys. Obviously, maybe eject at $2.30 in the full throttle training at 7. We got a lot to cover. Covered calls, cash secured puts, collars. So I would buy the 302.5 calls. I would sell the 300 calls. What's the expiration? March 6th. March 6th expiry. I did 40 contracts. Okay. Remember, with a credit spread, 70, 80, 90% of the credit that I take in, I would close the trade. If the trade increases in value to double the credit that I took in, I would think about ejecting. So that's why we don't send out closing alerts, because I just told you when to close it out. George, Wiz, can you speak to what happens if the NYSE floor closes? It's not going to affect liquidity. It's a mental thing. First of all the dudes on the floor are models. Well, I'm not going to say models. Some are pretty ugly. It's fake. There's no reason for any of them to be on the floor. It's all electronic. So the dudes down there, they're placing trades and shit like that, but the liquidity, the open outcry is gone. The S&P 500, pits up in and the VIX pits up in the CBOE are the last vestiges of open outcry, folks, and the CBOT, right? So, Thomas, great time. Do you think the Fed will step in again today? Oh God, no. If the Fed steps in again today to cut rates, the market goes to zero. Chris, if we do a Thursday class, it will be the same time, 7:00. We'll send out an email, guys. I don't know. You know what I know. I got to see what the flight schedule is for Thursday, Friday, and stuff like that. So, all right, hold on. Let me do this. Primary live trade briefs. And again, this is why now, shit hot, Dow's down to 400 points. It's so funny, man. I got a couple emails and texts from people and, social media like, aha, the market bottomed and you were wrong. I'm like, are you high? You believe that? I'm like, tell me the stocks you're buying right now with both hands and I'll sell them to you. All right, let me see if this fires. So let's do this. Primary live trade briefs, SMS only. This is like a 15-step process, folks. So trust me, this is not, I don't enjoy doing this. Dano, market's now below the breakout point where the rate cut was announced. That's a great technical analysis point there, Dano. Good question. Jeff, holy shit, this is a blast. This is fun, isn't it? All right. The puts swung from being down 10 grand to being up 6 grand. Dow's down 400 points now. Going to be a fantastic day. You need assistant working things when you talk. Man, I can multitask. I can talk on the radio, dogfight, land aboard a ship. Now let's all look at our cell phones and see if that fired. All right, so you saw I tried to do it. The email worked fine. The email is right there. See you at 10 a.m. Oh, wait a minute. I just got a text. Let me see. Got it. Got the text. So, about 20 people. Yep, got it. Got it. Negative on phone, one person. So the text. So here's what I'm going to tell my techie. Apparently, when I shoot them individually, they work. When I'm firing them using the dual fire, it's not working. Guys, if you don't get the text, restart your phone, all sorts of other stuff. I didn't get text for 2 days in a row, and I was yelling at our techies, and they're like, dude, restart your phone, and I had all my texts there. So, all right. Anyway, so, all right, parting guidance. Any other finer questions? So the PLTB every Tuesday morning goes about an hour and a half, and we're getting pretty close to that. Any questions, concerns, oh, by the way, is on anything else? Training tonight at 7. So we will talk more about this stuff tonight. See, and half the people who said they didn't get it said, oh, now I just got it, folks. We send texts literally around the world. We sent, how many did we just send? 648. So folks, if you are in the PLTB, we have 648 members in here. It sent 648 of them. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are a lot of people are apologizing right now saying they just got it. Okay, do me a favor, don't say you didn't get it. And then let's just, again, man, I got it now. Exactly, guys. It fires out to everybody. We are a radio station. We're broadcasting. If you don't get it, it's because you might be out of service, you might be in a tunnel, or you might be on the other side of Mars. It's a radio station, folks. It's a broadcaster. It broadcasts. Anthony just got it in Australia. There you go. Kevin, that's great, man. Good for you. Kevin, new here. 2 weeks up over 2 grand. Small steps to get it. That's nice base hits, man. Good for you. God bless. Okay, hang on. Let me look through my. I got to look through my show notes here. Covered that. Doug up $6,000 today. Sweet. I am on the other side of Mars. Exactly. Wow, almost down 500 points. Mark, longtime member, this is the most fun I've had in a while. Craig up $4,000 today. That's how we do it, guys. I'm up 19, 20, 21. There we go. I wonder if all the idiots on social media who are like, aha, you were wrong, Wiz, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, for 5 days in a row, I was right. The Fed jumps in at the close, and somehow I got it wrong. Slam. I think we got 1,000-point up day. I think we might see 1,000-point down day. What a freaking great thing. Hard to hold the profit up $8,000, Lisa. Isn't that a great day? Wow, we are breaking down. Thanks, Wiz. Great call by you today. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Wiz. $19,000 today. Wow. I am grabbing that one. You guys are freaking fantastic. Hold the profit. Good for you guys. All right. I will see many of you tonight in full throttle training. If you are just in the joint briefs and you didn't pay for the academic training, I will not see you tonight. You can still, that's not closed, folks. We can have a ton of people in the academic training. I don't care if that's a zoo because it's aftermarket close and we're all hanging out. Anybody need the link? Wiz, you're on fire today. Awesome. Thomas, I started to breathe again. Jane said, listen to him. I did. Tell Jane I love her. Mike, I started up. You're up $44,000. Needs a new car. Wife needs a new car. I love it. Will the plunge protection team step in today? Again, if they do, you are now getting to the point of making an official announcement where we might see a bigger panic in the markets when the Fed's stepping in. Wow, $44,000. Good for you guys. $44K, wife, new car. I'm grabbing that one too. And folks, now you see, this is the chat box. This is real. I love people in other places, like they show you testimonials from like 20 years ago. Like back in the 87 crash, Steve did great. I'm like, what? Hell, Wiz, I'm not going to congratulate you because I have grown to expect this sort of thing from you. Oh, Dutch, man. I love my Dutch. Dutch is a great American. New car for wife as well. Wife doing your trades for me. Hey, there you go. All right, so here's my guidance. I got to get going. I got a ton of stuff to do. I got some calls. Again, people yesterday, like, trying to razz me like, aha, you were wrong. But really, should I hedge this type of thing? I'm like, oh my God, guys, yeah. So I am the presenter on the call coming up here, and now the Dow's down 500 points. Is fantastic. All right, let me see if we have trading questions in here. I appreciate getting all the success stories, but Greg, is there a dashboard with all the trades on it somewhere? That is on every member page. Somebody needs to watch the Getting Started video, folks. Watch the Getting Started video. It tells you everything. Okay. On the primary live trade brief page in about 20 minutes when I stop talking, all the trades are going to be up there. It's right here. All the trades are listed on every member page. Would you expect the Fed to pump more money in at 3 p.m.? Doyle, I have no idea. Here's what I'm saying. Yeah, John, isn't that awesome? That's why I didn't want to sound condescending to the dude, but some guy yesterday on YouTube's like, you should have expected this snapback based on technical analysis. I'm like, what's your technical analysis say the market's going to? Technical analysis is based off the left side of a chart, folks. It's retarded. There's support, resistance, and that's about it to use. These Fibonacci, snapback, it's all bullshit. So it's insane. Martin, you get the link before the brief tonight, and it'll be the same link for all the full throttle trainings. All right, let me look for a couple more things. Oh, let me answer that question on the Fed. I don't know if they're going to jump in to save. Now we're up 23 grand in this portfolio today. 1,500, 1,700 on Apple. Slash, would I chase Apple? Yeah, I'd pound it into the dirt. If you didn't get filled on that one, hold on. Hey, can you shoot those guys an email and let them know I'll be a little late for the call? I need to listen to this. All right, guys. I'll tell you. I got to go. I got to jump on this institutional call. I'm in charge of it. People again asking me for advice. Probably $30 billion worth of portfolios that I'm going to be giving advice to, or not advice. I'm just going to be talking about what I'm doing. So fantastic day, up 20 grand since the open. Okay. And we'll talk through some of the stuff tonight. Chris, up $97,000 on an $85,000 account. One account was $3 grand, now at 33,000. Holy shit, Chris. That's probably, you get put up there in the holy shit club. Nice job, Chris. You're welcome. Hey, man. That's just so funny. I owe whoever that was an apology yesterday. Somebody wanking, with the sales thing. I probably shouldn't have flamethrowered the guy that much, but I literally try and help people out, and I get criticized for like trying to sell. So guess what I did yesterday? We shut down. Susie's turning people out of support. People are now people are really pissed off that they can't become members here. Well, guess what? Larry, trust me. Any hedge fund manager I'm asking, or they're asking for my advice, they better support MAD or the Top Gun Fighter Foundation. Folks, a lot of people asking about that. I'm still waiting, and I'm not going to hold my breath for the IRS to all get done with their shit. So, but anyway, all right, guys, I got to go. I'm going to watch Trump here, and then I'm going to jump on the brief tonight. You will get the link an hour before, or hour and a half, whenever it is, before the full throttle session tonight. Yeah, you bet. If you don't have full throttle academics, folks, yes, you can sign up. If you're just in the joint services, folks, you're like paying $195 a month for joint. You do not get the academic training. Why? Because it's dirt cheap for joint. So here's the link if you want to join us for training tonight, right here. VA, please post the link for full throttle. What do you mean, the training tonight? I just said probably for the 7th time, the link will be sent out an hour to an hour and a half before the brief. I'm not posting the link for the full throttle session tonight since most people in here aren't paying for it, VA. Got to listen, folks. All right, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll see many of you tonight at 7, and I'll see many of you tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Oh, hey, reminder, tomorrow's 10 a.m. for accelerated retirement, 10 a.m. Because I'm flying out tomorrow afternoon, even though the weather is looking like dog squeeze. Okay? All right, God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. See you.